Bernstein. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its management, or Beasley Media Group. Entrepreneur, founder, author, and financial advisor Marc Bernstein helps high-performing business owners turn their visions into reality. Through his innovative work and the Forward Focus forums, Marc connects entrepreneurs to resources that fuel their success. Founders Forum is a radio show and podcast where entrepreneurs share their journeys, revealing the lessons they've learned and the stories behind their success. Join Marc and his guests for a mix of inspiration, valuable insights, and a little fun. Now, let's dive in.
Good morning, America. How are you? We're here in kind of quasi-sunny Philadelphia. It's not always sunny in Philadelphia, but it's a nice day, nevertheless. And we're in the studio with me this morning is Branden, who I'll formally introduce in a minute. Although after talking to him for a few more minutes, I realized he's branding Branden, and we'll explain that in a few minutes. But anyway, I had a little thought on the way in, and Branden had a little thought on the way in, so we're going to turn that into a little conversation. And my thought was, I had a post about, somebody was posting about AI on LinkedIn this morning, and LinkedIn is our vehicle, by the way. That's how Branden and I met. That's how I meet a lot of our guests, and that's where a lot of business networking is done. If you're not on it, if you're listening to the show, chances are you're on it, because the chances are that's where you heard about it. But if you're not, be on it. It's important. So anyway, there was a thing about AI, and there's talking about, the post was, don't give up strategy. Like, strategy has to be done by humans. And I think my thought was something like, you can't give away your thinking. And I find that to be true. And I'm realizing more and more that so much can be done for me. I have Shan, who's a virtual assistant who is amazing, who does all the things related to the show. We have a staff at work that do a lot of things that I don't do. So I've been able to delegate all the things that aren't my unique ability. But one of the things I recognize is that strategy is my unique ability, and I'm spending more and more time on it. And sometimes I think maybe there'll be a day when I don't have to be the strategist anymore. But then I thought, the day I do that, I'm done. And I don't want to be done. So strategy is something that you've got to, if you're an entrepreneur, you've got to retain. But you had a related thought about that, Branden. So tell me your thought.
Yeah, I did. So like on the way in, all of a sudden just hit me that, there's a lot of people, even young people, getting into the workforce, seeing on social media, just to be helpful, maybe a social media coordinator or a content creator. But in reality, it seems all forced and faked. A lot of these kids and young adults, honestly, don't know their own story. So how can you help somebody to their fullest ability without you knowing even who you are and what you're actually good at? So that's something that really hit me. And everyone can have good business ideas, but if you can't articulate the strategy, it's just a business idea.
I like that. So taking it another way and relating it back to what I said, you can't just go through the motions and have enough depth behind you to really be a strategist.
Right.
Is that a fair way to say it?
That's very fair.
Cool. So food for thought, but strategy is, I've mentioned on the show a lot, but I went to a program called the Strategic Coach forever. And what we did is entrepreneurs got together, and I never really thought about this, but what we did is we worked on our strategies. We'd call it working on your business plan, get away from the office, work on your business instead of just working in your business. And it was all about strategy. And it's something I've done for a long time. I started as a lawyer, so all the things I've done have all been about strategy forever. And the more and more I think about it, and in my business for a while, I was literally called a case strategist, the guy that people would come to and say, how do help us solve this problem? Like, how do you do that? So, yeah, strategy is everything. So let me now introduce Branden to you. Branden Moyer, Branden Moyer, is founder at Buzz Brands.
Yep.
Boy, that's a tongue twister. Let me say that real quick. Branden Moyer is a founder of Buzz Brands. That was pretty good.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, I know. He's a bold brand strategist, creative entrepreneur, and founder of Buzz Brands, a powerhouse agency known for building unforgettable, story-driven identities. With a passion for transforming ideas into movements, Branden specializes in creating immersive brands that fuse design, storytelling, and disruption. Just by what he wrote here, you can tell he's a branding guy. It's really good. He's the driving force behind ventures like the Sticky Badger, Made to Be Clean, we'll tell you that story, and Crew 1912, each built to challenge the ordinary and make a lasting impact. Welcome officially, Branden.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So happy to be here.
Great to have you here. And he came all the way to Ballackinwood from Berks County, Reading, Berks County, Pennsylvania, home of Taylor Swift, in case for the rest of the country, and if you need a frame of reference. And he is, as we mentioned, he founded Made to Be Clean, and B is BEE. And let's start with your journey, which I think started at Disney World, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, sure did. After high school, I graduated in '08, moved down to Florida. The initial goal was to be a Disney Imagineer. And you had to get your foot in the door. I did the college program down there. And the only position that was really available at the time was a custodian and housekeeping position at the hotels.
Well, they say you start at the bottom, right?
Hey, exactly. I mean, as someone at 18, your ego's like, yeah, I'm going to be, this rock star engineer for the Walt Disney World Company, and I start at the bottom.
Well, I started the entertainment business too, as a music major, then lawyer, and I was offered, and in hindsight, I should have done it, a job in the mailroom at William Morris, or the opportunity to have it. I'm not even sure I would have gotten the job. Mm-hmm. But that's the story, and many record company executives started there. And, I was one of those guys that was too anxious. I didn't want to, I felt I could do better quicker, but it would have been a great experience. But anyway, so tell us about being custodian at Disney World.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was actually the best experience as at my age. And I got to meet people you'll never, ever get to meet, including President Obama, Celine Dion, Brendan Fraser, you name it.
Wow.
Yeah, they've stayed at the resorts there. I've seen them. So I've also got to meet people who've worked with Walt Disney himself, who've built these parks. And it was such a humbling experience as a 20-something-year-old. So I was taught a lot there. And I sort of came back to Pennsylvania 7 years later because I got tired of surviving. The money is not good down there, at least at the time. But the experience was, priceless. So I always wanted to start my own company, and I got the idea, well, I know cleaning, been trained by this world-renowned resort, and I started Home Care Solution in 2014. And not knowing branding or much of it, even marketing, 23, just came up with the name. I'm taking care of people's homes. Home care makes perfect sense. Got the website. I was to about 4 years in until I started having trouble, having some brand awareness, getting more clients. And I realized that my messaging was completely off. People thought I was a home health agency and not a cleaning company. We even rented out an office building.
I do want to tell you, I've had a couple companies like that on this show, and that's what it sounds like, Home Care Solution.
Yeah. But at 23,
right.
I don't know.
Right.
So I was able to secure financing to buy out a competitor here in Berks County, and that came along with an office building. So as soon as I put the office sign out, beautiful office sign, I thought, you know what, this is going to change. We're going to get a lot more business.
You bought the business and the building?
It was a lease-to-own deal.
Gotcha.
Yep, during that time. And this was right before COVID.
Right.
In September of 2019.
Right.
And then the world kind of stopped a year, well, a little less than a year, actually. And branding was super important during that time. Again, I was still a home health agency in the community's eyes, and we struggled through the entire pandemic. We lost business, could not keep employees. So something had to happen. And then during this time, I experienced, a divorce too, and the pressures of balancing a business and my personal life, and then also running for office too. at the same time. It was too much. I took on too much.
What office were you running for?
A state representative position.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You had a lot of moving parts there.
I had a lot of moving parts because I saw a lot of opportunity.
Right.
And sometimes, not knowing your story and your true purpose can lead to disastrous results.
So what I'm imagining some clarity eventually came out of that.
Oh, yeah. So while everyone was staying home, getting those $600-$700 checks from the government each week, spending them on flat screen TVs and Xboxes, I spent that money on beekeeping and equipment. So I was up all night.
Why beekeeping?
YouTube.
Okay.
So it was one of those random scrolling videos you see, and you watch one video, then it cascades into the next and the next, and now it's 2 a.m. in the morning and you haven't fell asleep. And something about it was just fascinating to me that we as a human species can control insects in a way that we can create a business out of it.
Right.
So, but it wasn't the business part that attracted me. It was more of the therapy of it. I was going through so much during that time that when I got my first beehive and I started raising the colony, the buzzing sound actually calmed me down and eliminated my anxiety and depression that I had. So I was just naturally attracted to it then. And I didn't want it to blow up into a business because I didn't want it to ruin the passion that I had for it. And eventually I did have it into a business, and it did ruin the passion a little bit. So, but during that time, the cleaning company, which was my main source of income, continued to struggle.
By the way, you're not still beekeeping then?
Oh, I'm still beekeeping. I'm balancing both.
Nice.
But
okay.
But I needed to do something. So once the divorce was finalized, I had to rethink, re-strategize. And I was in the office late at night writing ideas down on the whiteboard on how we can rebrand. And Your Hive, Our Purpose came up. And that moment was when, storytelling had to play a big role right here in the rebranding process. So people loved the story of me coming back, bigger, better, buzzier than ever, if you will. And that really resonated with a lot of people. And my clients loved the switch, and Made to Be Clean really evolved from that tagline.
Made to be clean.
Yep. And here's the funny part. When we changed the office sign again, we were there 4 years prior, people came to our office building for the first time thinking we had just moved in, but we had been there for 4 years.
How about that?
So that's the power of storytelling and branding.
So you've obviously had a lot of, I always ask about challenges, but you've already announced them. You had the pandemic, you had messaging problems, you had a divorce, you had this distraction also of running for office. I imagine it was a distraction in the end.
Yep.
Right. And then you found some clarity through beekeeping.
Yep.
What strengths did you develop? Obviously, branding is part of it. Branding is part of it.
Yep.
So, what? Tell us about what the strengths are that you came out of all this with.
Yeah. So the strengths of seeing people for who they are and for what they can be as well. We had created a culture committee in our company where at least twice a month at least, we would all get together, a committee of our cleaners, and they would actually volunteer their time to come in for an hour, and I would help develop them as individuals and show their weaknesses and show their strengths and how they can actually exist in this company in a greater way than just being a cleaner or a maid. So that was very, very powerful for me.
So that sounds like developing a culture, company culture.
Yep.
And you mentioned to me before the show that you're introducing me to somebody who's a mentor to you, and you said the culture was everything there.
Yep. Brad Stevenson from Newcastle Lawn and Landscape.
And what did you learn from him about that?
Well, Brad is a unique person. I just have to look at him and how he operates his company and how he speaks to his people, just on the videos he posts. But meeting Brad, he's very down to earth and he's real. He's authentic. And authenticity is very rare in entrepreneurship because everyone's trying to sell you something.
Right.
And they're selling you a personality.
Don't you think it's rare in the world?
Yeah, well, that's very true. Yeah. Yep.
So he represented culture, authenticity, and you picked up on that.
I picked up on that buzz.
We picked up on that buzz. And with that buzz, that's a great chance to take a quick 1-minute break, and we'll be right back on Founders Forum.
Establishing a self-directed Roth IRA or other self-directed retirement plan offers access to investment options usually only available to well-connected or wealthy individuals. Anyone can build wealth and achieve tax-free income for life and financial freedom without the inordinate risk of speculative investing, securities, trading exotic financial instruments, or hoping for the best from the stock market. Since their start in 2003, Camaplan has come to be synonymous with expertise, flexibility, responsiveness, and diversity in investment choices. They provide innovative investment opportunities for investors seeking direct control and more choices in how they deploy their investment capital. Camaplan doesn't just make it possible to invest in alternative assets. They also teach investors how to put their money to work. Take the road to financial freedom today. Go to camaplan.com/foundersforum.
On Founders Forum with our guest today, Branden Moyer, Branden Buzz Moyer. So, anyone call you Buzz as a nickname?
Not yet. My uncle is actually Uncle Buzz.
Oh, there you go.
So,
it's in the family.
Yeah, it's in the family.
So we talked about your strengths. So what's happened with the company since then? And you have a couple other brands that you've established that I'd like to talk about as well.
Yeah, so with Made to Be Clean, last year was a challenge for us. Not just the political climate has changed, the economy has also changed as well, and people are fearful of really spending money on a luxury item like cleaning and maid services. So being able to pivot was very difficult for us, and we're still recouping. But we've also noticed that people are starting to come back in terms of wanting to spend more money because they went the cheaper alternative, and they're finding out that, paying an actual company rather than somebody with a mop and bucket it actually has benefits,
So you're on the mend.
I'm on the mend, yes.
And in the meantime, you're still motivated. I think you can't help yourself with branding and
it's
moving forward.
I can. It's every day I can come up with a whole new company.
So tell me about the Sticky Badger first.
Yeah, so the Sticky Badger, it was originally called Uncle B's Honey Company, which was me, Uncle B, and even wrote a children's book, The Adventures of Uncle B and Ruby Catching a Swarm, and it was my first children's book, published book. It's on Amazon. Nice. And again, the community really created an image for me and needed me in so many areas that I could not be. And I realized I created myself a job that I didn't want, or a brand that I didn't want. So I had to rethink and re-strategize this, and I came up with the Sticky Badger, just like the Honey Badger. So now the Sticky Badger is not just a symbol of just me, but it's a symbol of the nonsense that this brand is going to create in the honey industry. And
is it a honey? Is it a honey company?
It's a honey company. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So it's going to be a subscription box model company where it will offer unique experiences. And that subscription box model is something that's growing in the market. And
so it's not just honey, it's experiences.
It's experiences. And Buzz Brands is only going to be creating experiential branding brands, if you will. So that's our niche. We want to be able to give experiences to all companies.
But you're selling honey too with it?
Oh, yeah. So the Buzz Brands will have its own companies that will run.
Yeah,
help generate revenue and stuff.
Okay, interesting.
So it'll all be under that umbrella.
What kind of experiences? Can you give us a preview?
Yeah, so I can give you a preview with Crew 1912, which is actually going to launch soon. I was watching a National Geographic documentary about Titanic, and that just came out, I think, in May this year. And it got me thinking about the crew of the Titanic, sacrificing themselves to keep the lights on, to keep the steam going until the very last moment. And I'm thinking, you know what, that's lost within the story of Titanic. It's always focused on the wealthy passengers
Yep.
and, you know, the creators, the architects. It's like, how about the crew that, you know, literally
You hear about the
sacrificed?
captain a little bit, but that's about it. You know?
Yeah, but like the people at the bottom of the ship.
Yeah.
So I came up with a concept called Crew 1912 Coffee that really just signifies to people, blue-collar workers, hardworking people, that you're not forgotten. So, so these boxes, again, a subscription box model, when you get them, they'll have the pictures of the victims in there with beautiful artwork done as well. So when you hover your phone over it, the picture actually comes alive with an augmented reality and tells them their story and whether they survived or not, too.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it comes with a 12-ounce bag of coffee, locally grounded, and a mug, and a few other goodies that I don't want to give away.
How close to market are you with that?
2 months.
Really?
Yep, 2
Interesting.
months away.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I moved pretty quick on things.
Yeah, you got a lot of things going on. And you mentioned your book. You have another book on the way, I understand, called Beyond the Logo, The Art of Storytelling.
Yep.
Telling.
Storytelling, Brent. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there was a G missing on here. So anyway,
all right.
That's okay. And well, that's obvious what that's about. So.
Yeah. So people think, well, what is your branding? Well, my logo is this, and the name is this. And honestly, that's like step 14 and 15 of my branding process. So we actually tell your story first, and we show you how to do that before you even come up with a name or a logo.
That's
But
great.
coming up with a name and a logo is so easy for people, but that's where the messaging gets lost.
So this goes to what you learned. This is your thought of the day, which was people don't know their own stories. And if you can't explain your story, it's going to be hard to be authentic. It's going to be hard to influence anyone else to do whatever it is you're trying to get them to do.
Yep, exactly.
I love that. So we don't have that much time left, believe it or not. Time flies on the show. But let's talk about if this were July, which it is, of 2028, and you and I are talking, Branden, and we're looking back on the last 3 years, what would have to happen during that time for your vision for that time to have become a reality, for that to be a successful period of time in your life?
Yeah, so my goal is to help 100 companies in 3 years.
Wow.
So if I can help 100 companies with their stories, then I have secured that goal and reached it. And then the next 5 years, obviously the number will increase, but experiential branding is going to take a whole different new level, including with AI. And I want to be able to be on the forefront of this in our industry to allow even small mom and pop stores to take advantage of experiential branding in their stores or in their products with packaging that will just blow the customer out of the way.
So I love that idea, but you'll still be going on with Made to Be Clean.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
So
Crew 1912.
Yep. Made to Be Clean has a really wicked 3 to 5 year plan. And I can't give away too much with it, but it's sort of leveling the playing fields with solo cleaners. And I've learned that there's power in many. And cleaning companies right now, they're suffering because people can find cheaper cleaners with a solo cleaner. So I'm using that as a way to level the playing field in the next 3 to 5 years.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, we won't go into too much detail. We don't want to give away the secret sauce.
It's all right.
What challenges do you see over the next 3 years? And again, your strengths to overcome those in terms of building what it is you want to build?
Yeah, so it's people is always the challenge. Financing is there as well, too, with raising funds for these ideas. But it's people that would be the most challenging because they're going to have to run it.
Yep.
So culture building, believing in people, and really getting them excited for these brands is super, super important, but probably the most challenging.
Gotcha. I'd like to ask you a question which you chose, which is knowing what you know now, if you could speak to your younger self, what advice would you give you?
Follow your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, follow your gut. There's a lot of noise out there. People are going to be chirping in your ear, saying this, do that. Follow your gut.
And I imagine know your story.
Yes, know your story.
Would be part of that,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So I kind of rushed you through that. We do have a couple minutes left, so I'm going to pop some other questions at you, which you don't expect. Are you a reader?
I'm an audiobook reader, yeah.
And what audiobook are you listening to now?
Let Them.
Ah, me too.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yep.
Funny.
It's very powerful,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. It solves a lot of issues.
Isn't it interesting? I'm in a personal development group, and we were talking yesterday about if you give people their own kind of sovereignty, which is a version of that, and let them do what they will do. It doesn't matter if it's your wife, your children, your coworkers, your boss, if you work for somebody, whoever it is, whatever it is, it takes so much off of you,
The amount of energy we use because we're afraid to upset somebody and we try to reframe things, it's exhausting. It's simply amazing. And I don't think a lot of people have lived a life with the let them theory.
Right. So I think you're right. So let them. Also, what is. You can't change what is.
Yep.
And work with that, right? I mean, it's such an important life lesson. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
How about music? You're a music guy?
Yeah, I am. I listen to a lot of, actually, movie trailer music, soundtracks.
Oh, really?
That is actually, I'm a movie buff.
Interesting.
And that is something that really inspires my creativity.
I have one for you to listen to. So my dream in music school was to write a movie score, and I did that. A film you'll never hear. It's called The Hypnotist Passion, but you can get the soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, so that's great. It was great having you here, Brandon. We could probably talk a lot longer about a lot of
Sure
things.
can.
Thank you all for listening, and look forward to seeing you again or talking to you again next week on Founders Forum.
We hope you enjoyed your time with Founders Forum and that you found value to take with you throughout your day. Join us again next week for another episode of Founders Forum.